Iowa, 1939. An orphanage housed 22 children. No parents, no advocates, no one watching out for what happened to them next. That year, a scientist arrived with a theory he needed to prove, and before he had done a single thing, something about this was already wrong. What exactly was he trying to prove? And why did it matter so personally to him? The scientist's name was Wendell Johnson. What most people don't know is that Johnson himself had stuttered as a child. This wasn't abstract research to him. It was personal. His entire career had been built around one belief, that stuttering wasn't something you were born with. It was something caused by environment, by how a child was spoken to. To prove it, he needed subjects with no one to say no on their behalf. He chose the most vulnerable children he could find. What exactly did he do to them? 22 children were divided into two groups. One group was told they spoke perfectly, fluent, confident, no issues at all. The other group was told they had a serious speech problem, even the children who had never stuttered a day in their lives. For 6 months, session after session, that message was repeated to them, reinforced, drilled in. What happened to the children who were told they had a problem? They developed it. Children who had spoken normally their entire lives began to stutter. Some withdrew, some stopped speaking in class altogether. This is what psychologists call labeling theory. The idea that a label, repeated enough, can shape the very behavior it claims to only describe. Johnson had an assistant carrying out these sessions. Her name was Mary Tudor. She knew something was wrong. She followed the protocol anyway and carried the weight of that decision for decades afterward. What did Johnson do when he saw what his experiment had created? He buried it. The study was never published, not because it failed, but because it worked, and he understood exactly what that meant about what he had done. His own students gave it a name they couldn't shake. They called it the monster study. For over 60 years, the University of Iowa said nothing. The children were never told the truth about what had been done to them. Some carried the damage without ever understanding why. Then in 2001, a journalist uncovered the buried research. The university issued a formal apology 62 years after it happened. In 2003, 6 of the surviving children, now elderly, sued the state of Iowa. They won. No machine was used, no drug was administered, no physical injury was required. The experiment relied on something every one of us hears throughout life, the words of people we believe. So here's something worth sitting with. Has a label someone gave you, a teacher, a parent, anyone at all, ever changed how you saw yourself? You don't have to share what it was. Just ask yourself honestly, was it ever actually true? Because if words repeated often enough could change the future of children who trusted the adults around them, how many beliefs about yourself began as someone else's opinion rather than your own?